Hello students. In previous some lectures, we discussed the basic design procedure, how to design a simple machine element. In this lecture, we will study how to design a quarter joint. So for designing the quarter joint, what are the parts that is to be designed? In the designing means we have to find out the dimensions of all these components. So there are three components in the quarter joint. Spigot, this one is a spigot, this one is a quarter a socket, and this one is a quarter. So that here is nothing but the assembly of quarter joint, that we have to design the all these three components separately, right? This is nothing but the sectional view, and these are some dimension notations we are using for the designing purpose. So these notations we need to understand. So this is nothing but the P is nothing but tensile force acting on the rod, which two rods are to be connected with the help of quarter joint. Then D is the diameter of that each rod, that is to be connected with the help of quarter joint. D1 outside diameter of socket, D2 diameter of spigot, then D3 diameter of spigot collar. Here all the dimensions are there. D4 diameter of socket collar. Here is the D4. A is the distance from the end of slot to the end of spigot end. This one is a A. B is the face width. Here this one face width minimum width of this quarter. C is the axial distance from the slot to end of socket collar. C is nothing but this distance, and T is nothing but thickness of the collar, and T1 is thickness of the spigot collar, and length L is nothing but the length of quarter. These are all dimensions we need to find out in this design procedure. Here are assumptions we made before going to the design this component. So the assumptions are rods are subjected to the axial tensile force only. Then the effect of stress concentration is neglected. That is the most important assumption that will be required for selection of material. And the stresses due to the initial tightening of quarter is neglected. So we are neglecting these two type of stresses. So for the design, we need a problem statement. Here is a problem statement that is to be designed. So it is required to design a quarter joint to connect two steel rods of equal diameter, right? That small diameter. The each rod is subjected to an axial force of 50 kilonewton. For 50 transfer of 50 kilonewton force from one rod to another rod, we have to design this quarter joint. So in this designing procedure, that is divided into number of parts. So part one is nothing but selection of material. In this selection of material, as we discussed previously, the assumptions made, and by that assumptions, we have to select the material. So as the rods are subjected to tensile force, this is first assumption we made. Then the quarter is subjected to direct shear and bending stresses. Simple bending stress is there and direct shear stress is there only. And the material for the two rods, and based on that we select the material for two rods, and the quarter is a plain carbon steel of grade 30 C8. That is a grade having SYT 400 Newton per mm square. This is the material, basic material we selected for all these components. Then part two is nothing but selection of factor of safety, which how much factor of safety is required for the design procedure, that we will discuss here. So for the selection of factor of safety, we have to consider these assumptions. Initial stress due to tightening of quarter, we are neglecting that stress, and stress concentration due to slot and socket is also neglected, as we assume assumptions made before the designing procedure. So as these assumptions are made, we have to select the higher factor of safety. To account for that assumptions, we have to take higher factor of safeties. So here for rod, spigot end and socket end, the factor of safety is assumed as 6, and while for the quarter the factor of safety is assumed as a 4. So there is a specific reason why factor of safety is less for the quarter. So as we know that quarter is a complete continuous part, there is not any slot or not any discontinuities in the quarter dimensions. So there is a no stress concentration here in this quarter. And second thing, if the failure occurs in the quarter joint, that failure must be occur in a quarter, because quarter is easy to manufacture and less costly as compared to the spigot and socket end. So once you consider the lower factor of safety, then failure will be occur in quarter only, not the other part. So these are the two reasons why we select the lesser factor of safety for the quarter and higher for the spigot, socket and rod end. In the next third part, Third part is to be calculation of permissible stresses. Before going to actual calculation, we need to calculate permissible stresses based on factor of safety and material we selected in the previous parts. So for the calculation of permissible stresses, these are the formulas we need to use. Sigma T, tensile stress. This one, sigma C, is compressive stress, and shear stress. Tau is nothing but the shear stress. As the material for the all the part are same, but the factor of safeties are different for spigot, cotter, and other factor of different factor of safety we use for the cotter. So permissible stresses are also differently calculated, need to be calculated. So for the rod, spigot end, and socket end, we select the factor of safety as a 6. So here you can see the factor of safety 6. So tensile stress, allowable tensile stress or permissible tensile stress calculated by SYT divided by factor of safety. So here SYT is nothing but yield strength in tension, that is 400. Similarly, sigma C, compressible, allowable compressible stress, SYC, yield strength in compression. Here, yield strength in compression is twice of the SYT. These are the known values or standard values we must understand. So 2 times SYT divided by factor of safety. This is based on theories of failure. So shear stress is SSY, that is shear stress in yielding. So it is 0.5 times SYT, yield strength tension. So that's how we calculated these 3 types of permissible stresses. And the permissible stresses for the cotter is also we have to calculate it by considering the factor of safety 4. That is the only difference. Here factor of safety is 6 and here factor of safety is 4. Material and the SYT values are same for all these components. So here are the permissible stresses. This is part number 3. In the part number 4, we have to calculate all the dimensions of the components. So there are certain steps that is to be followed. Step number 1, first we will calculate diameter of rods that is to be connected. So by the use of this diagram, you can see this diagram. If the tensile force acts on that rod, the rod can be get failed by the tensile failure. So this is nothing but the tensile failure equation. Sigma T is nothing but force per unit area. Area of cross section is nothing but pi by 4 d square. That equation, by that equation, it is coming like d. Small d is nothing but under root of 4p divided by pi into sigma t. This sigma t value we have to use as a permissible stresses we calculated in the previous step. So this is diameter of rod. So by that, all these values by putting here we know the 50 kilonewton is the force. So 50 into 10 raised to 3 we take it as. Here pi into sigma t. Sigma t is permissible value we calculated in previous step as 66.67. So by that all calculations we get the value of diameter 30.90. So we have taken the standard value from these reference charts. So it is 32 mm. That is diameter of rod. This will be the first step. In the second step, we have to find out the thickness of cotter. So some empirical relations, standard empirical relations are there that is to be used while designing. So for the thickness of cotter, empirical relation is nothing but T is equal to 0.31 times diameter of rod. So by that empirical relation, we can get the value of thickness of cotter is 9.92, or it is taken as a 10 mm. Round up, we take it as a 10 mm. In the next step, step number 3, we have to calculate the diameter d2, that is diameter of spigot. Here we can see in this diagram, diameter of spigot, that we have to calculate this one. So this is nothing but if the failure occurs, occurs at the minimum cross sectional area shown by the hatching line. So at this area, and which type of failure it is nothing but the tensile failure. So again, by the use of tensile failure, force divided by cross sectional area. So force is nothing but the P. This one is a cross sectional area, right? So this is nothing but hatching area. So by putting all these values here, we can calculate the value of D2 only. Here in this equation only D2 is unknown. So D2 is nothing but empirical relation we got from this equation. So by solving the quadratic equation, we get the value of D2 like this. So D2 is equal to 37.91, or it is general standard value of diameter is considered as a 40 mm. Then step number 4 is nothing but to calculate outer diameter of socket. Here in this diagram D1 we have to calculate. You can see the diagram here. Again, the socket may get failed due to the tensile failure. So we have to find out the tensile stress here, and based on that tensile stress we have to find out this diameter D1. D2 we calculated in previous step. So we have to calculate D1, right? T is also we know in step number 2. That is by the empirical relation we calculated value of T. T is nothing but thickness. So again we have to use tensile stress equation. Here you can see the tensile stress equation, P divided by this bracketed area. So this is again rearranging. By rearranging this, we get the equation, again quadratic equation in terms of D1. Likewise, here D1 is unknown. All the other values are known. D2 is known. We calculated in previous step as a 40, and T is nothing but 10 thickness of quarter. So this is empirical relation quadratic equation for the D1. So calculating solving this equation, we get the value of D1 as 52.04. So it is considered the standard value is nothing but 55 mm. This is diameter of socket. Then step number 5 is diameter of spigot collar and socket collar. Collar dimensions are again to calculate by the empirical relations like this. This relation, standard empirical relations are there. We have to use that equation while designing. So the D3, that is diameter of spigot collar, D3 is 1.5 times diameter of rod. Again, it is 48 mm, and D4 is 2.4 times diameter of rod. So it is becomes 76, or that is approximately equal to 80 mm. These are the collar diameters, outer diameters are nothing. So in step number 6 is also again this empirical diameters, empirical dimensions A and C by using 0.75 times rod diameter. So it is 24 mm. These are nothing but thicknesses, right? That distances are there, A and C. Then step number 7. In the step number 7, we have to find out the dimensions, dimension width of quarter. So width of quarter can be calculated by two ways, by shear failure and by bending failure. So by shear failure we will discuss first. So here by shear failure, as the force is acting here, so that quarter maybe get failed by the shear, and that shear is nothing but double shear. This layer also and this layer also. So we know this formula, tau is nothing but shear stress in the quarter. So tau is nothing but force per unit area. Area is nothing but B into T. So again rearranging this equation in terms of B, we get the value of B by the shear failure is 50 mm. As I discussed that we can calculate the value of shear width of quarter by another is nothing but bending failure. Here is nothing but bending failure, and this is nothing but the bending failure. By using that bending failure, we have the value equation of B. So B is nothing but that the value. So by all this calculating or all putting these all values here, I get the value of B is nothing but 50 mm. So by both the ways we can get the value of 50 mm. So ultimately from equation this one A and this equation is B. So from equation A and B we select the value of 50 mm. That is the width of quarter. Then next step number 8, we have to check that all these dimensions, as we use sometimes we use the standard relations, standard empirical relations to calculate some parameters. So for that purpose we need to check that design whether these assumed value or some standard relations we use that are safe or not. So we have to check that for crushing and shear in spigot end, right? So this is nothing but the crushing maybe happen here in this spigot. So we have to check for crushing, that sigma c value, again same empirical relation, force per unit area. So this sigma c value should be less than or is equal to the permissible value we calculated in the first step. Then and then only the component is safe. Otherwise we need to modify their dimensions. So here sigma c values comes 125. Then shear stress in the spigot end we calculated by this empirical relation. So tau is nothing but 26.04 Newton per mm square. And we calculated the value in the first step that permissible values are nothing but for sigma c it is 133. So it is value is sigma c value is less than 133. So it is safe. Again tau value is 33.3. In first step we calculated this value. So here the value comes is nothing but 26.04. So as this calculated value is less than this permissible value, the total design of spigot end is safe. As this is nothing but the conclusion. And again we have to check for socket end also, similar way we have to check for socket for crushing as well as shear. So this is nothing but the socket diagram. You can see here the shearing, we have to check for the shearing. Then this is nothing but the shear area. So that shear area derivation we discuss. So by that equation, sorry, the diagrams are interchanged somehow. So shear stress is the equation is here one. Shear stress is P divided by area. We have to calculate that shear stress, and that shear stress is 26.04. And for crushing stress, this one is nothing but the crushing stress. Here is again force divided by area, and crushing stress is nothing but 125 Newton per mm square. So again, we can check for the allowable stresses. So allowable or permissible compressive stress is 133, and you calculated value is nothing but 125. So it is less. So design is safe for crushing. Similarly, the allowable value for shear stress is 33.33, and our calculated value is 26.04. Again, this is less than the permissible value. So stresses are in the induced in the spigot end and shocker end are within the limit. This is nothing but our conclusion, and hence total design is safe. So, and again, last step is nothing but to calculate thickness of this spigot collar. Again, this empirical relation we need to use to calculate the thickness of spigot collar T1. So it is 0.44 times D. So this one is nothing but the 15 mm is nothing but the thickness of spigot collar. And for the taper, we have to use that tapered section of that quarter. So taper section for the quarter is 1 in 32. That is we have to select it for the quarter. So this is how what the complete design of the quarter joint. So, and we have to find after completion of design, last part in the design of any component is nothing but manufacturing drawing. So here is the manufacturing drawing, an actual drawing with dimensions. Here you can see the dimensions, whatever we have calculated here, that are given in this total diagram, right? So these are the dimensions of that total quarter joint assembly. So this is we have to, this is what the complete design procedure of quarter joint. Ready? Thank you.